All right, what's going on, beautiful people? It's the North Shore 9 postgame show powered by Primanti Brothers. I'm Tyler. With me is the OG, Ryan. We ain't done any of these.
I know. This is our first of the year, first ever, I think, post games with me and you. And what a great game we got for it too.
Yeah, the jig's up. They
right?
left us. They left the locals here to do this.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's traveling to our live tailgate, which is tomorrow, by the way. Tomorrow's game, Kutch bobblehead night. Everybody's traveling. Rosati's at the game, which par for the course for this performance that the Pirates had. Rosati curse. But the only thing I got good to say about this game, Tyler, is City Connect sure looked good. Both sides.
Sure. I'll be honest, like at some point I tuned it out. And also the Pirates have worn those City Connects so much at this point, I feel like I just don't even notice.
Yeah, they've worn
them all the time.
They do wear them a lot. But I feel like have you seen a team wear it on the road? I think it's like the first I've seen it. We had dueling City Connects today.
So side note about me here, I don't notice uniforms at all. I just don't. I don't pay attention. I'm watching the ball game, man.
Yep.
But before we get into that ball game, let me tell you guys about Bet Online here. Bet Online is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season, from baseball, golf, soccer, right, to all the top fights in UFC and MMA and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on the game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today and get in on the action. Use promo code BLEAV, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, the game starts here. Should we just get into this bad boy? Because it was kind of ugly.
It was real ugly. How about Sheets? 0-1. 0-1 with the Sheets patch. Which that was a big topic today, man. Twitter was or X was lit up about Sheets, but yeah, I mean, let's get into the game.
Is it a Rosati curse or a Sheets curse at this point?
It's both. It's both as of right now. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But he's in all weekend, right? He's going Sunday too, I think. So this is what the third game we've seen Ortiz with Majinski as the opener. I don't want to call it a bullpen game, even though it pretty much turned into a bullpen game. This was basically Ortiz with an opener. I think this was their third game that they've done it like this. This one did not go as well as the other two. And this is kind of what happens when you do an opener into Luis Ortiz, which was one of your bullpen guys. When they don't do well, it just turns into a bullpen game, and you end up with apparently 17 hits that the Rays had as the Pirates got. So what was the final in this game? 10-3. Ugly. Yikes. Did the Pirates did they get a little cute going with this too much? Or what are you thinking here?
Yeah, man, I think we're at the point where the bullpen game, it's worked to this point. I do feel like it's one of them diminishing returns, right? So at some point, it's just not something you can sustain for a long period of time. And we're at a point where they're using this 2 out of 5 days.
Right.
That's the problem. You can probably get away with using it if it's maybe your fill-in of a 6-man in the rotation, if you're trying to save a Jared Jones or you're trying to save a Paul Skeens. If you're using it 2 out of 5 days, that's tough. I can't even blame Shelton at this point because he's playing with the cards he's dealt.
Yeah.
the roster construction is a problem.
Yeah.
You can't keep moving forward with this type of rotation.
Because you're right. You could say, hey, okay, we got Jones and Skeens next two. That's great. Like that's what this rotation is at this point. Like, but you can't just rely on, well, we got those two guys. So let's, and like I said, this has worked. This has worked the last two times. But this is why, and of course they tried it against the Rays, which are like the Rays are the like basically the founder of the opener, and the Rays basically just baby-bipped them to death, and then they hit a couple home runs as well. But yeah, it's just they go to the well one too many times, and it's one thing if you're going to have Ortiz. There's a lot of people I saw on Twitter say, "Why don't at this point Ortiz has earned it? Just give him the start." And we've said this before on these the reason why you do the opener with Mlodzinski is so he faces the first 5, 6, 7 batters of the game. Ortiz comes in, gets to the bottom of the order, and then he's not facing the heart of the lineup 3 times, and it's worked. But when you're doing this, like you said, every 5th day, and then also doing a bullpen game basically on top of it, whether it's who you're pulling up, you got who they have today. You either got Dennis Santana coming out there and giving up 6, or Ben Heller, or it's just at some point you're throwing all these bullpen guys, and it's too much bullpen. Now I know Martin Perez, I think, started a rehab assignment or is going on a rehab assignment. So that's promising. But yeah, they're just gone to the well one too many times with this whole thing.
Yeah, I think you just said it right there. Like one too many times. You can get away with it if you do it once in a rotation, and even then, I don't like it as a baseball fan in general, just because I don't think it's fun baseball to watch. It's fun when you're winning,
Right.
but I don't find it enjoyable. And it's also just extremely taxing on your bullpen. And we've seen that. Like it has taxed this bullpen. Like you are begging Carmen Mlodzinski and Luis Ortiz to be darn near perfect. And then if they aren't, the day's done and you're going to have to burn arms.
Right.
And then after that, if that doesn't work out the next day, you're begging Jared Jones and Paul Skeens to be perfect. And there's no backup plan here. You only got so many arms.
Yeah. I mean, they, like you said, so Ortiz did 4 innings, 6 runs, 10 hits, Tyler. Gave up 2 home runs, an absolute bomb to Lowe. And then Fleming came in, and then we saw Dalton Jeffries finish it out with 3 innings late in the game. Yeah, it's just like it's one of these. I like the opener strategy. I like being creative, but it's like we thought. You just can't do it. It's something you do here and there. And again, like they announced the Sheets logo patch. We didn't even know who was pitching today. They announced that but we kind of had an idea who was pitching, but they hold it to like the last second, and it's like, what are we doing here, guys? I look through, I'm looking through scores every morning, looking at betting lines and things like that. And it's 3 times a week. The Pirates line just isn't there because there's no pitching probables. So it's just, that's where we're at right now. So, hopefully Martin Perez. Of course
you go to the gambling, Ryan.
Yeah, you got to. But it's serious. Everybody else has their rotation, their probables
it is frustrating.
up. And it's like, yeah, Vegas has got to be like, just really throwing a line out.
But really, though, it goes back to the fan experience here.
That's right.
Like, at some point, I would like to know who the hell is pitching when I'm going to a game.
Right.
I don't know until an hour before the game. It's a high school baseball game.
Right. You're right. And
I don't know who's pitching.
We saw Skeens we were hoping for Skeens tomorrow. We saw him get pushed back.
Tomorrow until like 2 days ago.
Right. Right. That's the problem. And it's like, I don't know what they're doing.
That's not good business sense.
No.
Like, and I have Paul Skeens. Let everybody in the world know when that guy's going to throw.
And I understand, like, somebody would say, well, why do we want to give the other team, the advantage of knowing who we're throwing? Like, I think every team because that's what happened. Like, every team has their probable set. And like, here we are, the Pirates this year. We had them make a roster move with like 6 minutes before first pitch. Like they're just holding these decisions. It's like I can't even believe MLB hasn't been on them about it. But whatever.
Yeah. Hey,
I don't know.
They only care about gambling when it's the umpires or Tucapita Marcano.
Or Tuke. I call him Tuke.
I call him Duke. Aside from that, like Luis Ortiz wasn't good.
No.
Really, he just wasn't good today. Majinski, I thought, was okay enough. He's an opener. You got an inning and 2/3 out of him. He gave up 1 run.
Yeah.
For the most part, he was fine. I mean, first inning, he gives up a middle. I think either the double or single. I don't. One of them was middle. The other one was a good pitch that gets hit. It is what it is. He's a reliever. He's a middle of the road reliever. You take what you can get with him. I thought he was fine. I mean, Ortiz just didn't get the job done today, and that happens sometimes.
Yeah,
Pitching wise, yeah, go ahead.
No, just Ortiz has been great. We've talked about the last couple. I call it starts, but pretty much not starts. But he's been good. He's been good in that long relief role, coming in the follower, coming in after the opener. But today we saw the inconsistency from Luis Ortiz that we've come to know. And so, do you want to talk about what would that have been, the 5th inning? Like, did we leave? Did Shelton leave Ortiz in there just a little bit too long to gives up the 3-run home to Lowe and the game's over at that point?
That's a good question that I don't really know the answer to be honest with you. Because in a perfect world here, if this team is constructed correctly, I think he's out of the game by far. It's not a question. I just don't know where you go at that point.
Well, Fleming was warming, and he eventually came in after the home run.
Right, but do you go Fleming there? And that's not a great option. It's really not.
No, and even after that,
after that,
yeah, you're what are you, Stratton, Jeffries?
Stratton's he's got the arm.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
like
he
have Jeffries. You just don't have much. I'm actually okay leaving Ortiz in there just because of what Ortiz has done to this point. And he's looked really good. I'm a big fan of riding it out with your guy. And at that point, Ortiz is probably your best option. I think it's more of an indictment on the organization in general that there's just not another option to go to.
It is.
I don't think there's a good answer at that point.
Because you're right, the options that are coming in aren't much better, if not better. They're not better.
Yeah, I mean, are you going to burn Chapman? Are you going to burn Holderman? Are you going to burn Bednar? No, not when you're already losing. You don't have that middle of the road guy that you can come in and they're going to eat that inning for you. And you have faith in them that maybe they don't get through clean, but they're going to be good enough.
Yeah, we've seen it so much with Shelton, but like you said, I think it is a byproduct of the bullpen construction. Like we've just seen it. There's somebody warming. He leaves the pitcher out there. And this would be times, a lot of the times it's when the Pirates have a lead. And it's like, and it's usually a small lead because we can't hit. And he leaves them out there too long till the game's gives up the game, gives up the lead. And then, then he's pulling them and stuff. So we just saw it again. But again, it's like you said, I think it's just a byproduct of what Sherrington has given this team. And it's like, we're pulling up, Denny Santana and Bruhaha and Dalton Jeffries. I mean, we're pulling these guys off the wire, and it's like just nothing. Ben Heller, nothing that's thrown at the wall is sticking at this point.
Yeah, there's not that guy with intrigue coming up, right? Yeah. Like there's no Robert Stevenson, and I know there was a lot of hate that was surrounding Robert Stevenson because he struggled a lot with the Pirates, but there's nobody with the stuff, I think. Like maybe a Kyle Nicholas has the stuff, but from what we've seen, he's terrible. He has no idea where it's going. Yeah. And lately, yeah, he's been better. But there's not another guy they've brought into this point this year, I don't think, that I look at and say, there's something there that I like. Like a Ben Heller, there's nothing I like. Dalton Jeffries, there's absolutely nothing I like. Bruhaha, Good Lord, nothing I like.
What about Luis Cessna? Are we bringing him
Yeah,
up soon?
I have nothing to like about any of these guys.
Right. Because yeah, they're mid-season acquisitions and they're not good ones. But how
Ryan,
about
this game
Rosati?
is so entertaining that the chat is talking about the Lakers,
Yeah, and Rosati. Can you believe he showed his face
right?
in here after going to the game tonight? I invited him to Kennywood. I said, I'm going to Kennywood with the kids. You could come down. We could ride the Total Whirl. It'd have been great content. Jim said, I ain't going to Kennywood. I'm going to the Pirate game. I need to extend my curse.
Yeah,
Just a selfish individual.
To be fair, Jim did invite me to go golfing today. I had to work.
Well, you did go golfing, didn't you? Or was that yesterday?
I went golfing yesterday and the
Oh,
day
okay.
before that. And last
They're
Saturday.
running. This week's running together for me. It's too hot.
It's yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And speaking of tomorrow,
yeah,
it's probably another good time to plug that. We will
yeah.
be out there tomorrow and it's gonna be brutally hot.
Live tailgate tomorrow. What Gold Lot 1 at noon, high noon. It's gonna be hot. Yeah, Primanti's is catering it. I don't know. What do we have signed up right now? 140, 150.
A lot.
It's a lot of people. We'll have water. Jim says we'll have water. No, Sheets is not sponsoring the tailgate. Come on, guys. Get your MTOs. Everybody wants to talk about Sheets. They're not a Pittsburgh brand.
People are Sheets.
Sheets. But yeah, live tailgates come out tomorrow, guys. We'll all be there. Doug said he was in Kentucky. You got plenty of time, Doug. That's right, Amanda. Amanda will be there.
And you get a bobblehead.
Bernardo.
If you go to the game, you get a bobblehead. Catch bobblehead night.
Not everybody. I think it's first 20,000. So we can't linger.
I'll make sure
we can't linger at the tailgate.
I'll make sure I'll be there.
We got to get our Kutch. Is it a City Connect bobblehead?
No. I don't know.
I don't think I've seen
I don't have that answer.
I haven't seen like the preview or the graphic of it or anything yet. But
yeah, I haven't either.
All right, so let's Pirates give up 17 hits, 10 runs.
Whew.
Let's morph into the next. Let's go to the lineup, which is a great topic as well.
Yeah, because that's going to be a lot to talk about.
The good news from today's game: Brian Reynolds homered. He continued his hot streak.
Yeah, it was a blowout at that point.
Yeah, which is par for the course for him. But he extended his 18 game hitting streak.
Been better.
He has been better.
He has single-handedly won games this month.
Yeah, but the narrative is always the game's out of reach.
Home run definitely fit that narrative.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so Reynolds homers, extends his hitting streak to 18 games. So look out, Joe DiMaggio. Rest of this lineup, Tyler, just more of the same.
Bad.
More of the same.
Bad.
Red Series was bad. They won a game 1-0. You're not going to win 1-0 games all the time. Cruz 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Hayes 1 for 4. Connor Joe. What was he doing in the outfield too? He had that play. I don't even know what inning it was.
It was the top of 6, I believe.
It was after the home run. He just should have made that play.
Yeah, he's got to make that play.
Like, did he lose it? Like he just kind of like last second, like was like I don't know where it's at.
It looked like he thought it was coming off the wall, and he didn't make a play. Plain and simple, he didn't make a play.
No,
he read it wrong, and really we're back to the 2023 Connor Joe conversation of he's probably being overexposed.
Yeah, he's definitely probably playing too much. And I mean, a lot of people are like flipping out, like, "Oh, Connor Joe's come back." Like we knew he wasn't going to be the April Connor Joe that we saw, pretty much April and May. But I was hoping he wouldn't just. Why is it always like these guys will start out hot or they'll start out okay, and then they can't just like be bad for a couple games a week. They got to go into like a 3-week, 4-week long slump. Like, that's the hitting coach, right? Like at some point, like, what are we doing? It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
It's more of the same.
It's a lot of things with like a guy like Connor Joe. At the end of the day, I just really think he shouldn't be playing as much as he is. And everybody on planet Earth knows it.
Yeah.
We had this experiment last year. He played too much.
Yep.
And the league adjusts. He adjusts back. He's not good enough to play 140 games a year or 130 games a year. He's just not.
I know. We knew it.
But he's the best you got.
That's the thing, because does Sawinski look like a guy that should be out there 140 games a year? Does Rondal look like a guy who should even be starting at catcher in your lineup? It's like we just got a lot of these.
Yeah.
And just nobody's besides Reynolds, and Rowdy's coming by. He was 0 for 3 today with the walk. Nobody's just
well, Rowdy listened to Dad. If you listened last night to the show. Rowdy listened to Dad. I'm all aboard Rowdy again.
There you go.
Rowdy listened to Dad. Dad told him what he's doing wrong. Rowdy's gonna come back. I'm telling you.
He went back to basics.
But like legitimately, somebody in this lineup has to hit the ball over the wall.
Yeah.
They're not hitting the ball over the wall enough. Plain and simple, a guy like Rowdy Tellez has the homer. I do want to add one thing about the lineup here, and we talked about that last night as well. I thought Nick Gonzalez looked a lot better tonight. The numbers don't show it, but Jose Siri robbed him of a double.
Yeah, I was gonna say loud outs. He's the one right now. He's been hitting the ball. I mean, he's had a couple of those where he's gotten robbed on it. But yeah, that Siri, he was making plays left and right, even in the ninth. Yeah, but you're right. He looked better.
Nick Gonzalez is one guy that I could see in the lineup where I thought that guy looks like he's locked in again.
Yep.
And he had a 3-game slump that we talked about him for like 20 minutes last night.
See, and I'm not worried about
whether he's a problem, like whether there's something going wrong with him. No, no, I'm good with him right now.
Yeah,
he looked back to Nick Gonzalez again. He was barreling baseballs again.
Yep,
that's really all you can ask for.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Nick Gonzalez. But yeah, like you said, like they're just not hitting the ball over the wall. Like Rowdy, they moved Rowdy up in the order, which I know you guys talked about.
Speaking of, Nick Gonzalez back in the 5 spot. That was the big spot I wanted.
There you go. Because I said move Nick Gonzalez up, or at least bat him ahead of Hayes, because Hayes was hitting ahead of him for the longest time, and it's like this is getting ridiculous. So now they moved Gonzalez up. Now they backed him back down, but he's ahead of Hayes, so that's good. But coming into this year, like we've talked about it, we thought the power was going to come from Cruz, Rowdy, Henry Davis, which Henry Davis is MIA, wasn't hitting. Now he's injured.
Yeah.
I thought Hayes would be a 15 to 20 home run guy. We thought Rosati thought Sawinski was going to be this breakout candidate. Like just nobody's hitting for power. When McCutchen is leading your team in power, it's good for McCutchen. It's not good for the Pirates.
No, it's not.
And it's just that's where we're at right now. I saw Grandal stock the cooler at Sheets. Man, these guys in Sheets on here.
These guys love Sheets tonight.
Yeah, Sheets, man. Look at this. Just the iconic brand.
For the record, I did work next to a Sheets for a long time, and now and actually, speaking of,
was it a Dollar General?
No, like the last been at this job 5 years. The one before that, I worked next to a Sheets as well.
Like office
for like 8 years of my life, I have worked right next to a Sheets.
There you go.
I've eaten a lot of Sheets, so I would like to. I kind of want the chat to tell me what their Sheets order is.
Hey,
I'm a big old MTO 2-for-1 hot dog, add a little cheese, like $1.40 or whatever it is, and then go grab me a can of Coke, and I get out of there with $2.40 for a meal. I don't care what people say. I love Sheets.
So Elwood City, which is not a very big town, kind of like your town there.
Huge town. Huge.
Like your town, Tyler. We got a Sheets last year, and it's pretty busy. So yeah, and we have a Sheets not too far away too. But
cheese bites, bro.
Yeah, they added the Sheets. We got the beer cave in the Sheets. Yep. So yeah, I'm all for it. It's good.
Great.
It's good.
A great beef jerky selection as well.
I saw Tucapita selling lottery tickets at Sheets. There we go. This chat is drunk tonight. They are drunk. They're pre-gaming for the tailgate tomorrow.
Yeah. So am I.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know
But
what else we need to talk about this game,
as
Ryan.
I said, what
Like,
else are we going to talk about besides sheets?
yeah, it's a sheet show. As
That's
washed up
all.
tough guy.
That's all anybody. And to all jokes aside, I, I'm I'm fine with the sponsorship patch on the jersey. We're seeing it's the Penguins did it this year. Like we're seeing it across the board in sports. Soccer, I know a lot of people aren't soccer fans. Tottenham right here. Soccer, you don't even see the team logo on the kit. It's all sponsors. You got an airline and you got all this stuff on there. So I'm fine with the sponsorship and I'm fine with Sheets. Like people out here saying Sheets isn't a Pittsburgh iconic brand. Like get lost. Like, what are you talking about? And
Sheets, like,
I just do we have to put red back on that jersey? That's the only thing.
uh,
I don't like the red.
can I be honest? Like, if they could do the red right, I think red would be sweet.
But they don't like when they did the red bill
Oh
on the
yeah, it looks
cap, like
stupid.
awful. And they did the red trim on the number, like just terrible. I hated that. So don't
No,
go
it
back
looks
to
stupid.
that. If we're just gonna
Yeah,
do one little sheets patch. But that was another great one. Like, let's just drop that mid-season on the day of, oh, we added a sheets patch to our jerseys.
right.
Oh, and we're pitching Majinski tonight. Like this organization is just
Fun.
totally upside down.
Ryan, we are going to a game tomorrow. Let's not get killed.
That's yeah.
I don't want to be
Well,
held hostage.
with the weather tomorrow, I don't know. We
Yeah,
we might die.
yeah, it's true. Jim did fall off of a seat last year.
Was it even a seat? I just thought he like went
I don't
down.
know.
But
I was wandering around. I don't know.
yeah. I
I
don't
was
know,
being
man.
me, just walking in circles.
What else are we supposed to talk about this game?
No, there's really not much because the big thing I want to talk about was Nick Gonzalez because I've liked what I've seen out of him. Aside from that, really the game turned for me with that Siri catch off the Nick Gonzalez potential
Yeah.
double. And then the other part of the game was the McCutcheon double play, and it felt like the Pirates could get back into it there.
That was a good point
And
because
like I can't really blame McCutcheon. If that is Rowdy Tellez, who I just complimented earlier, or a Jack Sawinski, or a G. Wombe, or name them,
right.
Michael A. Taylor, I'm going to rip them apart. Andrew McCutcheon's like one of your best hitters. It happens.
Leading the team in home runs. Yeah, you're right. They were down 4-0. They started clawing back. It looked like they were getting back in the game. They scored 2 runs. So Hayes and Sawinski drove in those runs.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, both aggressive, swinging at the first pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And we know about what this offense has done when they're in these slumps and they take pitches and then they're striking out looking and all that. So I thought that was interesting to see. But then you said Grandal, then Kutch, double play, and it just kind of killed that inning. So, and then Ortiz did what he did. They left him in, and he gives up a 3-run bomb, and it was pretty much all she wrote at that point.
Yeah, that was pretty much the end of the game. Like when he hit in that double play, it was over. Straight up, it was over.
Yep.
A lot of Shelton haters tonight, but
These comments.
honestly, I can't blame him.
I can't argue again because I'm not a Shelton supporter
I'm
myself,
not a supporter.
and I just at this point I get it with the roster, I get it. He's dealing with the cards that he has, but I just don't like what is he doing to get this team to play above its head or play better or come out of a slump or do it's just.
Nothing.
It's the same story with him. Like, yeah, he just doesn't.
Nothing.
What does he do besides? Well, the players seem to like him. That's what everyone always tells.
But I mean, if you truly think about this, we bitched and moaned all last year from August on about how we had basically 2 starters. Well, it's June, and you got 3
really good ones.
Like he's being dealt nothing.
Yeah,
He's got nothing else other than Keller, Skeens, Jones. Like he's not even being handed a guy to go start a game. It's just figure it out with what you have.
Yeah, do a bullpen game one day, and then the next day do an opener with a fallener using.
Now, granted,
yeah,
maybe I'm just really angry with my life, but I would walk in there and probably be like, no, I need more, man, or I'm done.
Right. Right.
I need more. And
I
this
don't
team
know.
needs more. Like they gotta get another arm here. And Martin Perez should be back
Yeah.
relatively soon, but I've been told that for 2 weeks. So
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, he
You
comes
gotta do
back
something here.
if they're, whether they do Ortiz with the opener or they bullpen day. Like, yeah, you gotta. But
Yeah, and everybody's talking about Bailey Falter. Bailey Falter's been terrible.
right. But again,
It's a
like
bullpen day with him too.
until this lineup, like this lineup hasn't come out of it. Like
I'm
it's just
sorry,
been
Amanda.
you can't score 2 and 3 and 1 run and be competitive. Like so they have to make a move. I know this is more of a Starbucks or NS9 live topic, but did you see what Nutting basically said about, Sherrington has the resources to go get guys at the deadline and blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah. So
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
also said they had the resources in the offseason.
right. So like, is he like? Do you like? He's to me. That's you're throwing your GM under the bus.
I
Like at
think
that
he's
point.
just so much out of touch.
Yeah,
He
that's
has no idea how much it's like the old guy that goes to the supermarket and is like, well, like, what's a banana cost?
yeah.
That's what it
That's
is
how
with Bob
much
Nutting.
bread is $6. Yeah, yeah,
That's basically what it is.
yeah. And I've talked about that before. I think Nutting is just, but it's like I'm surprised he even goes out and like. It's so weird with Nutting because he does these random interviews or press conferences. He'll, like most of the year, he seems so out of touch, out of date, doesn't want anything to do with the actual team. He's never like at the ball. You never see him in like an owner's suite or whatever. But then like he's at spring training and he does his talk to the team, before the end of spring training every year. So like the guy, like, I don't know, like he wants to be around, but I just think he just isn't a baseball guy. And I think he has a bunch of yes men around him that just say no one gives him a dose of reality. And, they just hire Corn Ferry. Look at this. Tyler just had enough. He just leaves. And you all right?
Yeah, my camera said it was just
But that's the thing. Like I think he's just so out of touch and he's just got a bunch of yes men around him. They're like, oh, sure, Mr. Nutting, go ahead and do that. That's a good idea. Yeah, I think you should talk about the team. But like he's going over and oh yeah, and Ben should go out and get some guys at the deadline. Like, well, we'll see. But again, you can't trade your whole farm because you don't sign people in the offseason. So, you sign, injury prone guys like Marco Gonzalez and then, are shocked when they go down and then you need help and you're running bullpens out there 2 days a
this
week.
is this is maybe the meanest thing I'll ever say about Bob Nutting.
This should be good.
So I've gotten into that new, I think it's on FX, the new series Clipped about Donald Sterling.
Okay. Yes.
And I'm not calling him Donald Sterling on any level. But the personality wise of just being so out of touch with everything, that's what it feels like to me. When I watch that, I'm like, that is Bob Nutting, where it's
Right.
just in his own world, not knowing anything about any of this, but wanting to be involved.
Yep. And I think that's spot on. Like, I think he thinks that he's like in touch. And he's like, oh, I'll go talk to Jason Mackey about this. We'll go get Chapman, and I'll tell Ben to go get a reliever for $10.5 million. And it's just like, yeah, he just doesn't know. And I don't think there's anybody around him that's a baseball guy that's going to tell him like, you need to go do this. Like, you need to freaking hire somebody and not, it's just.
He should probably just come on the show. And we'll just chat it up.
Maybe you could stop by the tailgate tomorrow,
Yeah.
Bob.
Yeah. Swing
Stop
on
by, have a couple brewskis.
We'll be nice.
All right. Well,
let's get
we done. Yeah, we're sorry, guys. No sandwiches today. But
yeah,
if you come to the live podcast live tailgate, we'll have a post game show from Primanti's. So even if you can't make the tailgate before the game, we will be at Primanti's in Market Square following the game. Probably going to be a little later tomorrow because we got to get over there. But yes, we will be there. So come join us at Primanti Brothers. But they're catering. We'll have sandwiches if you RSVP at the tailgate tomorrow at noon. So looking forward to seeing everybody.
And we will all be there.
Yeah.
I'll be in a corner somewhere and not talking to anybody. Come find me. Just
There
look
you
for the
go.
short guy.
Tailgate is at Stop it. Stop about Sheets. It's
Dude,
not at Sheets.
all right,
All right.
we're done with Sheets. Let's get out of here.
All
All
right,
right.
guys. We'll see you later.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
No,
Hey, you all, thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.